What is up, Gear Squad? Chain Gear here, bringing you another video. And today, I'm kind of throwing this video together on my work computer. Actually, I'm just using the camera for it. I'm gonna see if I can scrap together a quick video for you guys, all about basically the recap of the Arena. The Arena is this kind of live podcast show that happens on Frag Nation. I can't remember. There's kind of a lot of names involved. They do this on a service called Hitbox, and I guess the show is called Live Nation. I think I can't remember 100%. I'll see if I can throw it all in the description below. But these guys have an awesome show that literally is currently all about Hardsuit Labs. Like literally every single show they do, there's two of them right now. Episode 1 was all about Hardsuit Labs, and it was all about Blacklight. And the second episode was all about Hardsuit Labs. Half of it was about Blacklight. The other half was all about Hardsuit Labs in general. Lord Alf and Domino, otherwise known as Sean, all of them, the two of them were interviewed, kind of by the guy that was interviewing, I guess the Frag Nation guy, and it was pretty awesome. It was a lot of awesome information. The guy who was interviewing didn't know a ton about Blacklight. He said that he had played in the beginning, and he kind of, hadn't played in a while. Now he's getting back to it, which I think is pretty cool. And hopefully he plays a lot more, and maybe he can bring people on like us, on as like guests or something like that. But no matter what, it is a live show, and so you guys can actually jump on and contribute. You can talk to people. You can talk about things in the comment section and things like that. But I just kind of wanted to do a quick recap of kind of what happened, because this is again all about the future of Blacklight Retribution. In my last video, it seemed like you guys really enjoyed the future of Blacklight, kind of learning about it, and I really like watching those videos, watching the videos that Frag Nation has up, talking about the different things that talking about Hardsuit Labs as a company, as a studio, as a developer, and I got to learn a lot. But it's a 2 hour, or maybe this one was like an hour and a half or something, but it can get up to 2 hours of content. So I figured I'll grab all the pieces that I know you guys are definitely interested in, and definitely check this out though. I'll leave a link in the description to Frag Nation's YouTube channel. It's actually Frag Nation, I believe, and I'll put that in the description below so you guys can go ahead and check out the full version if that's what you guys want to do. But let's talk about the good stuff here. First of all, there is a game update coming, and they want it to come this month, but they said they're not sure it's going to happen. They're like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. We're not really sure. So they think that it's probably going to come out next month, but even then, they're not 100% sure. And that's because Hardsuit Labs is working on a ton of different games. And honestly, I'm cool with that. These guys are super, super busy. Listen, these guys do not just work on their own games. They work on a ton of other games, and they work on engines. They work on the UE3 and UE4 engine optimizations. They work with Epic Games quite often. So I wouldn't be surprised if they work with Epic Games creating Paragon. I wouldn't be surprised if you see them working on other games that they're working on, like Fortnite or something like that. But they work with these guys a lot. And they also work with a whole bunch of other companies making their games and optimizing them as well. Like Smite, for example. If anyone's played Smite, they helped, Hardsuit Labs helped Hi-Res Studios at least port it over to the PlayStation 4. And so I thought that was really, really cool. But anyway, like I said, we're not really sure when this patch is going to come out. Probably next month, but it could even be a month after that. But it will be sometime this summer, I'm assuming. So let's see what happens there. But in that update, there's going to be some awesome things coming. Number one, and the number one thing I'm excited for, is rebalancing. They're going to rebalance the whole game. That means nades and armor and weapons. Weapon rebalancing, obviously, is the biggest piece that we really need to be rebalanced. Armor, they could probably mess with that as well. Maybe the speed at which specific characters run at or something like that. But there's just an overall rebalancing, and I'm really excited. The only thing I'm concerned about is that I don't know if they're doing user testing. I mean, I'm sure they have testers, within the game, but if there's no beta for like a ton of people to play, this could be one of those things where they rebalance it and the majority of people aren't happy with it, so we'll have to take a look. But I have faith in Hardsuit Labs, and I think that this game is going to be awesome once they update it. I love Hardsuit Labs, and I love Blacklight Retribution, but it definitely needs some rebalancing, and I'm excited to see that that's going to happen in the next patch. Another thing that's coming out for the next patch is a new loadout system. This is dope. 50 maximum of 50 loadouts. 50. Now, I wouldn't use 50, and they also advise you not make 50 loadouts, and like Domino said, if you have 50 loadouts, you're doing something wrong. But not only can you have so many custom loadouts, you can share them. So each loadout will have its own code. You can generate a code, give it to your friend, and then they can use that loadout. But if they don't have all the pieces for it, it sounded like you could actually test that loadout in like the tutorial, which is huge. So for example, let's say I show you guys my favorite CQC sub, and if you guys know me, or if you're one of the first subscribers, you know what my favorite CQC sub is. I love that sub, it's awesome. And if you guys don't know what it is, or you guys wanted to try it out, I could post the code in the description, or I could make an annotation to it. You guys can then copy and paste, or I guess not copy and paste, but write it down, and then type it into PlayStation. And then you guys will be able to try it. And if you don't have the parts, it doesn't matter. You can still try the weapon, and then you can come back and buy those pieces if you really want to use it, or if you want to keep it. So I think it's really, really awesome, and I think this is going to change the way we share loadouts and do all that kind of stuff. Now, unfortunately, they mentioned that there probably isn't going to be new weapons, but they never mentioned anything about new parts. I'm really hoping that there are new scopes at some point, but even at this point, you know, I'm just going to take a rebalance, and I'm happy with that. And the loadout system, by the way, is not just for guns. It's for everything. One singular loadout can have guns, armor, different gear, different tactical gear, different aesthetics. So you can have two of the same loadout, and all that's different is the aesthetics. This is a big deal and a big jump for Hardsuit Labs, and definitely for Blacklight Retribution. So I'm really, really excited for this, and I can't wait to do LMG week and be able to share the actual loadouts with you guys without having to just tell you what all of the parts are, and then you have to remember and go try them out. You can literally just take the code and try it out. So I'm really, really excited for that. So aside from the loadouts and aside from the rebalancing, there's also a region merge. So that means anyone in any region basically can play with each other, or at least the EU and the US. So we'll be able to play with our UK counterparts, which means more people playing at one time. And that's pretty awesome. And I don't mean more people playing on the same game, but that just means that more people will be playing in the same server. So it's just this one big region merge. In terms of ping, that's going to be difficult, but I'm assuming that they're going to have something in place to keep people with similar pings around. And so I don't actually think we're going to have a huge problem with that. But someone may have an okay ping in Europe and be able to play on a US server, especially, or a US game. And you know, if that's not a big deal to you, then everything will be cool. So I'm really excited for that as well. That's basically it for the new patch. They did mention that there are going to be some clan fixes as well. They also mentioned some things that aren't in the game. And some opportunities. Number one is the fact that there will be no trading in Blacklight Retribution anytime soon. And if there is going to be trading, it would be in a sequel, if a sequel is to come out. Also, weapon tags will be changed as well. I forgot to mention this. Weapon tags have stat changes, but in the future, they will not. It will only give visual effects, similar to those tags, I don't remember what they're called, but like the beta symbol, and there's like the breast cancer symbol, and you can like wear those and they change things. Like there's the rose that allows you to like run around and rose petals follows you, stuff like that. And that's what the weapon tags are going to do as well, give visual effects for your guns. And I'm really excited for that, because it may be the projectiles you're shooting, or maybe the gun just looks a little bit different, it glows or something. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that, especially because there's a lot of tags already, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to change with those tags. Like the daylight tag, what is that going to change? Is it going to like put things on your gun and make it glow or something? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Also, though, they did mention player-created content. For example, a lot of people were asking if MOAR or Siege was going to come back to Blacklight Retribution. Now, if you guys played Blacklight Retribution on the PS4 only, you probably don't know what Siege and MOAR are, but these were different game modes that were in Blacklight Retribution on the PC. Basically, people were like, hey, is this going to come back on the PC or even the PS4? And basically, Lord Alf said, listen, you make me a good Siege map, and Siege will return. That's a big deal. So if any of you guys are PC players that are watching, or if any of you guys have a PC and you play on the PS4, get to trying to make awesome Siege maps. And you may actually see Siege make a return, and that would be pretty cool. They did mention that there are a fair amount of maps already created and still being created. And so that's pretty cool. And when I get my PC back, I'll definitely be jumping into those maps and checking them out. Not exactly sure how that works yet. I don't think I'll have time to work on my own maps, but if there are maps out there, I will definitely do videos for you guys and post them up on YouTube so you guys can check them out. I really like the fact that they let us make our own maps, and I can't wait to see some of those user-created maps on the PlayStation, which I assume they'll be bringing over. Alright, what else? Domino had mentioned that there is going to be entertainment on the forums during the summer. This is a big deal. They mentioned in general that the summer is basically where the tournament season starts, or when the tournament season starts. And so apparently there's supposed to be a lot of different things happening for Hardsuit Labs and Blacklight Retribution. So he mentioned, definitely stay tuned on the forums. There are lots of surprises that are going to come out. New content. I don't know what that content's going to be. I don't know if that content is just, Domino has a knack of, he likes to make different events that aren't just competitions. And so he mentioned there will be lots of teabagging. So I'm assuming that he's going to do some competitions or some light fun little events. And I'm excited for that. There may be some small aesthetic things that they're giving away, or just some codes for stuff, but that'll be awesome, just to get people back into the game and doing new things. And the summer's a great time for that. Not necessarily for me, because I just started a new job, but for you guys who are in school, or maybe you're just taking a break over the summer, you definitely are going to have time to be able to play these events, and it should be a lot of fun. That's basically it in terms of Blacklight Retribution. In general, you're rebalancing, new loadout system, region merge, new maps from the people that have created maps, and of course, if you make a Siege map, Siege will return, clan fixes, player-created content, entertainment from Domino on the forums, and some surprises coming as well. He did mention that these things are going to come up next month, so I'm really excited for that, but maybe something will come up this month as well. Just keep your eyes on those forums, guys. I know I always do. But there was two other things I wanted to talk about. One is Hardsuit Labs and games that they're making, and two is Blacklight Retribution 2, or the sequel, or the third installment to the Blacklight series. Let's start with games that Blacklight is working, or Hardsuit Labs is working on. They mentioned that by the end of this year, they should have 2 times the amount of games that Hardsuit Labs has already worked on. That's a lot of games. If you guys go to Hardsuit Labs website right now, like I just did, hardsuitlabs.com, you guys can see that they have their new website and all that stuff, which I think is really awesome, by the way. But you can go ahead and see our games. It says Blacklight Retribution and coming soon unannounced project, which we will talk about in a minute. But it also says games that they've worked on: Shadow Complex Remastered, Gears of War The Ultimate Edition, Chivalry, Medieval Warfare, Smite, Battleground of the Gods, and Deadliest Warrior Battlegrounds. These are Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and PC. This is a big deal. A whole bunch of different games. There's 5 of them that they've worked on. They said that will be at least doubled by the end of this year. That means that Hardsuit Labs is working on 5 other games, at minimum. And they're working on different projects. Let's talk about these unannounced projects. Now, on the site, it just says coming soon unannounced project, but Lord Alf actually mentioned those are 2 different games that they're talking about. Now, they couldn't actually give us any information. I am going to do some digging, but the number one thing that he said that stood out to me was that we will hear about one of these projects, hopefully, this time next spring. I'm really excited about that. Or next year, I should say. Next spring. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to hear what Hardsuit Labs is working on. This is their baby, right? Like Blacklight Retribution, they always mention, this is our baby. We give the time that we can to it. It's on the back burner, but that's because we're working on so much stuff. We have to keep the lights on, right? This is our job. We have to make money. And so that's what they're doing, working on these other projects. But they're also working on their own, 2 different ones. Now, he also mentioned, Lord Alf had mentioned that one of the games, he's never been so excited for a game. I can't exactly remember what he said. He said something along the lines of he's never been so excited for working on a game like this in a number of years. So many years he can't count on his hands, on his fingers, right? So that means 10 plus years ago, Lord Alf worked on a game, or worked on something, And he's working on something again, or Hardsuit Labs is working on something again that is similar to that. So I'm really excited. I'm going to dig. I'm going to see if I can find something, but I'm really excited for it. And the only other thing I wanted to talk about was a sequel to Blacklight Retribution. There is no dedicated sequel. We haven't heard anything specific about a sequel coming out for Blacklight Retribution. But in this video, he mentions time and time again about how there could be a sequel. He mentions a lot how the studio would love for it to happen. They just don't know if there's time. They just don't know if it's really the right thing for Hardsuit Labs to do, or for Blacklight Retribution. And I'm really, really excited for that, because that just means that we don't know yet, right? But he kept mentioning, people would say, hey, are they going to do anything new with the HRV, for example? He said, well, if we do, it'll be in the sequel. We're definitely not going to do it now, but we come up with lots of ideas, and it would be cool to actually see that happen in the next Blacklight. Every single time that he says that, it just makes me think there could be something in the works. He mentioned VR. Hey, is Blacklight Retribution VR going to be a thing? He said, yeah, if it is, it'll probably be in the next Blacklight. This is really, really interesting. Blacklight Retribution, it does well. It's not the best game in the world, and it doesn't have the biggest installment base, but it does well. And it's really big because it's the number one, it's not the number one, but for me, it's the best free-to-play shooter on PlayStation. Is it the best free-to-play shooter on PC? Honestly, I don't know, but it is easily the best free-to-play shooter on PlayStation. Now, Killing Floor is coming out for PS4, and so is PlanetSide is also out as well, but Blacklight Retribution, there's something about that game, and the new patches that are going to come out, the amount of work that they've been doing on it recently, it's a good contender. And if they make a second one and they make it free to play, I think they really have a good chance of making this work. But that's it from me, guys. That's a lot of information. This video, I definitely don't want it to be longer than 20 minutes. So go ahead in the comment section below, tell me what you guys think, and check out the arena. They do this on the first Friday or something, or the first Monday or something of every month. So every single time that they start recording, I'll see if I can post it on Twitter or post it on Facebook. But definitely check out. I hope you enjoyed this video. And definitely check them out if you get a chance. But let me know what you guys are thinking in the comment section below. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, and share and subscribe for more awesome Chain Gear gaming content. And of course, I'm gonna have a lot more Blacklight Retribution content once I get all my rig back and my TV back and my PS4 back. I just want to play games. But that's it from me, guys. I hope to see you online, and of course, I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.